Hello, hello, hello. I'm so grateful to be here with each of you. Welcome, October. What is going on? How fast this year has gone. Yes, I'm like, oh my goodness. Welcome, October. Oh my goodness. So here we are, October 1st. All right, I'm jumping right in. There's so much beauty to share. Um, New field, new field. Boy, there's a lot of spaces to that sentence. New field, new playing field, new space in which you are playing. New field, you, your field. New field in which you are being, which makes sense. I like a little bit of a picture, right? I always like to paint a little picture. So here, let's take a sports game. Janet Kate, she loves sports, I think. So let's take a sports game, and I'm not really big on any of them, so let's just all work together here in love. So we have a playing field designed specifically for the sport being played. We all get that, right? um I guess it could be fun to try to watch them play baseball on a football field, but the field matches the game, right? And they wear the equipment, right? So they have the outfit, the attire, the items used, like the type of ball or whatever it is, right? Well, think of all that when you're thinking of the field that you are playing on, and then think of your field, right? Your energy vibration, a space of the field you're playing on, but in your format. And do you have the proper outfit on? You're not going to wear a basketball outfit to play a football game, right? You'll get clobbered, right? And you're not going to wear a football outfit, to play golf. I don't think you'd swing quite clearly with all that encumbersome spaces upon you. So this is a wonderful little go-to in your mind's eye, in your back pocket, as you're navigating everyday life, to allow yourself to, look at the playing field and look at the sports attire you're sporting as you're being you. So that's a real basic little go-to for the mind to assist the human conceptualization, if you will, or laying out of implementation. All right. So now let's dive deeper. Are you ready? All right, rabbit hole, here we come. I've had a fantastic morning of all kinds of wonderful understanding, so I'm really, really, I'm high on it all, really. All right, so I drew a picture, and I'm going to show it to you in a minute, but let me explain it for a second. All right. So all along, you've been doing work, inner work that was creating outer experiential shifts. And you've been doing this work, understanding yourself as energy and vibration, and a space in the field and so forth. Remember the wave, remember the glorious spaces we navigated of being the ships and having the conscious compass, and so many wonderful spaces we held there. That was the doing the work, if you will, spaces of really opening our minds up and our beings up to remembrance. That had a field of alignment in which we were experiencing ourselves. That was that playing field. That was that sports attire. All right. Incrementally, vibrationally, from that field are all these additional spaces of shifts to other fields. And you are now, I am now, we are now on another field. The incremental spaces between the fields, if you will, there's only one field, but there are incremental ways of which the vibrations experience each other. You are a vibration of the field. I am a vibration of the field. The field is a vibration, and the increments are innumerable. So the origination field we met on in this now experience, you and I, we are no longer walking on or being on. We have incrementally journeyed to a new field where things are played in a new way. Now, another thing I want you to take into consideration is the journey of the incremental shifts between the field we met on and the field we are now on. Those incremental shifts, those incremental spaces of us that we've experienced, some of us for over 2 years together, some of us for a year, months, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We've all had them. Incremental shifts between where we met, where we were at when we met, each individually and as a whole, and where we are now. Those spaces are the designing and aligning spaces unfolding. Why do I want you to see this? Because it's mastery to see this. It's mastery to see this. How do you see this? First and foremost, in your mind's eye. You see it with your imagination. You take what I'm telling you and you imagine, what does that look like? That's the beginning. Then after you play with it in the visual for a while, and that's what you're doing, you're playing with it. Please own that word, playing. Remember, we're on a field. Remember, this is our sport. You're playing with it. Now, after you play with the visual, then you're going to lean into playing with the feeling. So you're going to say, what does that look like? Where I walked, what field I was on, the incremental shifts and spaces and alignments through choices and decisions and mastery and understanding and opening and allowing and flowing to the playing field I'm on now. What does it look like? Draw it if you want. I love drawing it, and it's a very basic drawing. When I share it with you, you'll be like, yep, that's pretty basic. I've gotten very good at stick figures. So here, though, then you're going to feel it. Why? Because you're continuing to design and align. When you visualize, you're thinking and you're seeing with your mind, your inner being. You're directing the designing mechanism within your being. You're directing the designing mechanism within your being. When you feel what you have visualized, you are now creating a coherent alignment, which we've talked about many times, of your heart with your thoughts, your inner knowing being connected into your heart. When you feel, you're putting that thought into a flow state of forward movement, if you will. It's not accurate, but it's a good word for the mind. Just allow the mind to catch on here, yes? To solidify the understanding. Forward movement of the energy means you are continuing to design and align from that vantage point, that perception, that interpretation, that space of your being. And if you, for one moment, could just right now look at where you are right now, and everybody's field's a little different, but we do have a lot of commonalities in our group here. Look at where you are right now and think of where you were, and each one of you is going to be different, but think of where you were when you first found my work and me. Think of the things you said, think of the way you felt, think of the things you did, think of the things, all of it, right? And allow yourself to really, in that moment, because I know you all very well. Thank you for letting me into your lives. Think of how you can see your playing field is different. Your sports attire is different. And as you are anchoring this and solidifying the connectivity of this in your being, you are implementing an even higher vantage point, perception space of design and align. That's where I want you to see it. Because once you make note of it, you've now stepped up a notch, if you will, vibrationally, incrementally, into a new space of how you do it. And guess what? There's an even greater flow rate in this space. You've been training you to be able to have an optimal experience utilizing your I'm going to say higher power because that's really what it is, but it's like in sports, you know. Again, I'm not a sports person. So funny to me, like in sports, like, but that's all right. I talk about all kinds of things I don't even do, but that's all right. All right. So in sports, you know, when the person is first learning the sport, usually they will have like innate abilities that might be like, you know, a sign that they're geared for this sport, right? Or um, there's things they could develop. A coach sees it in them, right? Everybody could agree, right? A coach can see certain things in certain people. Oh, that one, he's got a really good skill at running, or he's quick. He's light on his feet. This one, you know, got a great eye, a quick mind connection with, you know, whatever. So every single person here has these unique um, talents and gifts and spaces. And then as the individual leans into their sport and as they really allow themselves and they don't judge themselves and they give it all they got, those talents and abilities, they become stronger and stronger. The man runs faster and faster. The woman has a quicker eye-hand coordination. Whatever the gifts are, whatever the talents are, they expand because the athlete is applying themselves and expanding. And that's what you've been doing on your playing field of life. You've been applying yourself. You've been learning about your gifts and leaning into yourself with trust, and you've been allowing yourself, and doors are opening and timelines are shifting, and some timelines completely collapsed. You had alignments that you could be living right this minute had you a year ago made a different choice. And those timelines, they don't even exist anymore at all. You know, something really interesting is unfolding in our family, in our group, in our work. And I made an audio for you on Patreon. So monthly, you get one every month, the beginning of the month. This one that I made, I knew there was something in it that when I was making it, that felt like there was a deeper connectivity of you and your personal teams of light. There was a deeper connectivity of them using the space to communicate with you personally, very personally. Now, everyone will receive that differently because that's the personal spot, right? But there's also this physicality space to it and an energy space to it. But then there's this deep reconnection to your teams. Clarity, I kept hearing. But when I created that audio for this month, I understood that there is a clearing or release space available in that audio. It's like an energy session in an audio. And it's a different type of clearing. Now it's going to have levels of the clearing that are going to be what you're used to, like physical and sensation and like maybe even emotional release. But there's a level there that is a deepening of quantum healing. And thank you, Janet Kate. She's already experienced it and shot some feedback early to me this morning. And we were discussing this, and her words were quantum healing. And I said, yes, exactly. Beautiful. Thank you for that. And I understood that it was a deeper level. Why would it be a deeper level? Why wouldn't it be a deeper level? You're a deeper level. So the level of which it meets you at is always right where you're at. If you're deeper, then it would be deeper, yes? There is an opportunity right now on the playing field you are on where the release you are having with whatever you choose to experience the release with, and everyone can be different. For some, this can be an experience they just had 24 hours ago that felt big, and they completely release it within, half of an hour or whatever, which in the past would have lingered for a year. Then there's someone else who will experience a release that they don't even know where the heck it came from. It's big and it's massive, but they know something just released. That's very, very what we call old. But remember, it's all now, so that's where it gets trippy, right? And, Janet Kate even said, I think it might have even been from other lifetimes, some stuff she was feeling that was released, right? But the level of the release is because of the level of you. You are able to meet that level of release. I just want to give you the most incredible high five. I'll do right now. Ready. There you go. All right, there you go. I love it. I want to give you the most incredible high five and the biggest hug because I see you. I see you, I see you, I see you, I see us. And we are the, I said this the other day to Nadine, actually yesterday, I believe I said this to Nadine. I may have even said this to Chantel as well, but this is coming in this week. You and I, we are the front wave. We're the front wave of the shift. So, there's all these timelines and understandings and teachings and, people sharing what they see is happening. And what they see is happening. But there are some very big differences in what people see, right? And that doesn't mean that one's right and all the rest are wrong. It means that's how vast source is. That the wholeness of the shift has these increments of change, increments of movement. And they will be different in the different spaces in order for the whole thing to move. It can't move one way through one specific alignment or belief. It can't. It's too big. It needs every space of itself to have an awakening alignment in the way that space needs to have it. We are, our group, and many others like us on the planet, we are a front wave, a forefront of the wave. And so everything you've been doing in your individual expansion and in our collective of Acasma has been assisting you, me, us, our families. And then at the same time, it's been assisting the entire shift. What is happening right now with our family, our Acasma family? You're here, you felt that in your being, you found your way to this energy. We're remembering all kinds of things about our heritage and our connectiveness. But what is happening right now for you all and me is you are a connective point of your earth ancestors and the ancestors connected with you through what you would call your star families or the cosmic realms, galactic, but you are so vast, you are even beyond this. But what's happening right now in your beings and in your energy on this new playing field is you are realizing and able to more clearly connect with all the players on the field or in the field. And on this playing field, you have all your earth ancestors connected to your lives on earth. And you also have your star ancestors. And here's the most beautiful line of this particular understanding. Are you ready? You are the bridge or the connective point in which all of these players on this field of you become one. You are that connective point in which the star ones and the earth ones become one. And they get to be that through you because you are both and more. Okay, hold on. So the epitome of more, if I'm going to run you all the way to the end of this understanding, and I'm just going to do it really quick, and then we're going to get in our school bus and go back down to our playing field where we're at right now, all right? But let's do this real quick, all right? You already know this. I'm only reminding you. The epitome of who you are. So the highest understanding of who you are is really what you are. And all the rest is just icing on the cake. But the core of what you are and who you are is love, period. It's just love. And love you. Love you. That's what you are in a form. Has been many forms. And on the playing field that you are on now, you're able to connect in more clearly because you are there more clearly. You vibrationally have aligned and arrived to the game, you know? In football. Again, I find this so humorous. In football, they have these like tunnels that come from the room where they give them the pep talk. What do they call that? Locker room, all right. So they have the tunnel right from the locker room. The coach is in there with all of their, teammates, players, and they have this moment where they run out onto the field, and I can remember in high school, if it was a big game, the cheerleaders, I was a cheerleader, we would create these banners, these long sheets of paper, and we'd write all these cool things on it. And then, they'd play this music, and then here comes our players, and they'd bust through the paper, and we'd be cheering them on as they arrived on the field. So you've arrived. I'm holding a banner right now. Run through the paper. Woo! Oh my goodness. So you have arrived and you're on this new playing field. And I just want you to really embrace that understanding as you continue to be you, right? Continue to lean in, continue to experience your everyday life. And remember, everyday life is quantum life. It's not a separate space of yourself that you tap into to be and manage and deal with. That's the old field. We don't play like that on this field. On this field, we know the one is the one and there's no separation. So you don't have pieces and parts of yourself. You're one whole, amazing being. And you're having all of these various spaces of yourself. So that's the field you're on. Now, all right, there's a couple other things, and I'm going to show you the picture in a minute. There's a couple other things that are also happening on your field, this field that we're on now. And some of you have already experienced this. So you'll be in experiences you've been in before, but you're not who you were before. And the experience will play out, but you'll be coming from the skill level that you have now acquired, right? Is this in my hair or light? Oh, it's light. I was like, what's in my hair? All right. So anyways, you're coming from this skill level that you have acquired. Remember when I said that the coach could see the talent, and then the more that they worked with the athlete, the talent developed? So that's it. You're these developed skills, you know? And so now, remember in the beginning, the word allow? Do you remember that word? I said it all the time. And anybody who's done my EC1 and EC2 expanding consciousness meditations, they were the very first thing I released before I even spoke the words Acasma, really. That they're steeped with that word. Allow. And trust yourself. So you were doing that for however long you've been working with me now, right? And you've gotten better and better. And now that is something that you live from, a sense of allowance with trust. That creates flow. So the field you live on now, that you experience yourself on now, is at a much higher flow state or flow rate, because that is what you are. You have implemented enough times for that to catch into a momentum. That's how momentum forms, by repetitive motion of, and you can have momentum of anything. We all know that. Yes? Can I get a high five and a hallelujah from the back row? All right. So you see what I'm saying? You can implement and expand anything. And all you've done, that's a funny word. All you've done is become the master of what you decided to implement. And you gained clarity on what you had been implementing and chose what spaces of yourself to redirect and shift and move in the manner in which you wanted. And that is quite incredibly beautiful. And that is why you are a forefront of the wave of change. All right, I'll show you my drawing now, and then we'll share a couple more notes. But I need a whiteboard. I should just get a big old white. I know they have one on Zoom, but I don't know how to use it yet. So I'm learning so much so fast. I don't need to worry about that right now. All right. Oh, I love it. Chantel wrote in, every time I log on to your Zooms and it gives the option to push that quote, allow button. She says, I hear Andrea's voice. Allow. I love it. Thank you, Chantel. I love that. That's awesome. All right. So here's this drawing. Okay. All right. Now, this top line and this line right here, these are playing fields, if you will. This little wiggle line is going to be like to just help you see energy, vibration. Okay. And then here, down here, this is my glorious art. So this is you. And these lines are how you vibrate, right? So what you think and feel in your body emanates out of you, right? And then according to that vibration, whether you are on this field or any field in between. Now, so you are being the vibration of the higher field. That's a very key word, being. And when you were on the other field, you were doing the work of being. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the athlete priming itself. That's the athlete allowing its expansion, its betterment, its skill level to expand. You were doing the work. So if the runner wants to become faster, they run. And if the batter wants to become better at hitting home runs, they bat. They do. And then what happens after a while? They could do it with their eyes closed, because it is innate, because they've become that good at being them. And so you've left a field of doing and you are on a field of being. Now, everything that's on that field is so much fun. Oh my God, is it fun? The star ones are on the field. There's somebody releasing something out of the left side of their heart right now in the left breast. Just allow, beautiful one. Just allow, just nice deep breaths in, nice and slow. And you think in your mind, my body knows exactly what to do. And it's doing it masterfully. Just allow. Beautiful, beautiful. Just allow the space. It's clearing out. You're doing so well. Just allow the space. It's clearing out and releasing. Some of you are being very supportive and holding the energetic alignment for others. And there are many in this space releasing it for their family lines and their ancestors. Beautiful, beautiful. And in order to be on this field, this release has to happen. It's part of the journey of being in this vibration, being on the vibration of this field. The body, the physical body cannot carry that space of density. So it's healing it so that this space of the field can be experienced. And on this space of the field, and that's beautiful, you're doing really well. It's almost completely cleared. Whew. Yes, on this space of the field, you have your star ancestors, the star ones, and this is different for many, but we have, our group is a collective from a planet that we all were on together at one point prior to being connected with Earth. And and many of you feel that or know that in your hearts. And on this field, this remembrance is awakened. On this field, this remembrance is going to gain more clarity, all right? Your ancestor connection will have more clarity here as well. There's another really big reason for that, and that is the field you left, I left, we left. The energy there was had spaces of very big incoherent flows. You could call them distortions, you could call them, they rank everything from a wobble to an absolute distortion and everywhere in between. And that is partially because of the vastness of the collective that live on that field. And there are many outside of the human collective that live on that old field you used to be on. And they function at unawakened is the word I hear, unawakened spaces of themselves. So in those unawakened spaces of themselves on the old field, there was a lot of distortion and incoherence. But you have left that space. So now, why do I tell you that? Because I want you to be aware of it so that you can look for the clarity. You can lean into the clarity because it's here. You've never lived as a human in such a clear space of energy connection. So as you be you, as you have your relationships, your jobs, whatever it is you do being you as you're human, remember you're on a new field, which means you're on a new road, which means you're going to see new things. Look for new things, right? And you don't even have to try. Remember, we're in the being, not the doing. And again, you know, Janet, Kate, she's here today. She shared, I believe it was maybe in the Goddess course, that she had an experience where she saw herself really on the new field. I'm hoping that would be all right to say it that way, beautiful one, But she went to space she had been to many times before with other humans in the everyday life. And she went to that space, and she wasn't even thinking or prepping herself to be new. She went being her. Yet she realized as she was being her that she was being a new her. She was coming from a space of peace and clarity and love, a lot of love. And it was, in my humble opinion, the way I received what she shared prior is there was an effortlessness to it. It was just who she was. And that is because she has been implementing that space of doing in such a way that it has now become a space of being. Because also, one of really big space of this is she, you, I, all in this space, and many other spaces like us. We are getting more aligned with, we are tapping further into energetically, consciously, the remembrance of ourselves at our origin, which I told you what you are. You are love in a human format. You can learn every life you've ever had. You can find out every planet you've ever lived on, every dimension you've ever touched a toe in. And they will all be interesting and fascinating and wonderful and beautiful and intriguing. But at the end of the day and the beginning of the morning, yes, in every space of you, beyond those roles and titles and lives and experiences, you are love. That's your core. It's fun to learn about all the other spaces, but my job, one of my main purposes is to help you remember your core, your origin, and that learning all the others is part of what we do because it's a part of the expansiveness of ourselves. We're never losing sight of or getting detoured by one specific space of ourselves. Does that make sense to you? And really, it would be wonderful and highly beneficial for all of us and our collective if we allow the love origin factor to be the most present part of ourselves in our now format. For ourselves first, that you really, really let you feel your origin. You let you feel love. And it will inevitably flow out of you like the mightiest waterfall to everything you come in contact with. So there's a lot of newness on this field. I'm experiencing it every day, every moment. I'm making videos for clients and it's light languages coming in all these different forms. I'm hearing star language. I'm hearing new ways of even looking at these glorious spaces we've been in for a while now that seemed new. Now I'm getting like the next new. It's incredibly powerful, but I'm allowing because that's the key, right? The new road, we see new things. And so always allowing those fresh lenses to take in you and that which you are showing you, bringing you, aligning in front of you and experiencing through you from that most freshest space of you. Yes, the running water, the living water. All right, holy ones, have a few moments here. Does anyone want to ask me anything or share any comments or feedback on anything that they're experiencing? And if anyone has anything that's personal, you know you can always email me as well, or you can message me directly on Patreon. Many of you already do that, so I think everybody knows that. All right. So I leave this for you here. Remember your core. And remember you're on a new field and you're a highly skilled player and you're playing the game. Playing the game. All right, holy ones. I hope to see you tomorrow in the blessing ceremony. The Zoom link is available on the Patreon platform. I'll be here offering a blessing upon you and your October and all your nows. And this video will be available on Patreon if you'd like to revisit it. Give me about 24 hours and it'll be available on the page as well. So I'm honored to be walking with you, holy ones. I'm grateful that we are the forefront of the wave. And oh, what a wave this is, yes? Oh, what a wave we are. All right. I love you. I love you. I love you. Unending blessings upon you.
We love you.
Thank you, Holy One. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessings, blessings, blessings. So honored to be with each and every one of you. Thank you for all the love pouring into the chat. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you for all of this. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so honored by your love. And we will continue to expand these glorious knowings. Yes? All right.